Hi everyone, welcome to my new podcast. I know I am one of those people. I love speaking, I love talking, I can talk about anything. So obviously I should have done this when I was 12. But here we are, here's my podcast. We're calling it Voicenotes I Can't Send. That's the one that I'm trying to go for at the moment. But it's such a it takes so much for me to say for some reason. But if you know me, this is the best title ever because I do love a app. I do love a voice note. I have sent 13-minute voice notes before. I could probably send more if I wanted to, but self-restraint and everything. But but I really make myself laugh. That's such a bad trait. But the name is inspired from the Sabrina Carpenter album. She calls it emails I can't send. Voice notes is me. So her album's called Emails I Can't Send. I love voice notes. So I thought it would be called Voice Notes I Can't Send because this is I understand it's a conversation with whoever watches this, but it very much feels like me speaking to myself, which is a funny concept. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little podcast moment. I mean, I have one of those voices that you want to listen to forever. It's very much old radio accent. It's giving what was that accent called? Oh, I've got a transatlantic accent. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Have I tried to get the transatlantic accent before? Yes. Has it worked? Definitely not. Because I got in and out of these hyperfixations, right? Which we will probably get into a little bit later down the line. But one of them was my old Hollywood era. It started, oh my God, I love this TV show. If you ever need a TV show to watch, I would recommend this TV show like no one else's business. But in the summer of my first year at uni, which is crazy sentence to say, I was obsessed with John Crawford and Betty Davis. Who are these people, I hear you ask? Well, I'll tell you. They're the classic old Hollywood feud between these two actresses. But Ryan Murphy, who I'm convinced is the director of a generation. When you think about it, we grew up, with Ryan Murphy so hard. We watched Glee, and then we watched American Horror Story, and now we watch all his shows. He only does really, for me at least, one season shows. So the show in question is Feud. The first season's great. The second season not so much, but the first season is great, and they speak in a way they're trained to speak in this transatlantic accent. So they're speaking some parts English and some parts American. So it's a weird accent that's an amalgamation of both. And they would teach this in old Hollywood studio systems. And I remember I watched a YouTube video, to be fair. I was if I nail this, my life will be changed for nothing but the better. And yeah, here we are. So it didn't work is what I'm trying to say. But also I don't even know how I got there. That's crazy. But yeah, this is me. This has been this entire experience. This is giving everything you wanted. I honestly don't know where this is gonna go. I'm in my living room at the moment and we are just having a good time. But yeah, one thing I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about this morning, is actually saying this morning, is I think it's really interesting to chronicle or log someone's life through different summers. I think as humans anyway, we kind of do that, which if you live in a place where it's summer all the time, what are you doing? Because here in the UK, at least, we definitely have an emphasis on certain times of the year or certain holidays. Also, I've got the driest mouth today. I'm not gonna lie, somewhere between my Elvance, my creatine, which I've started taking, not for muscles, apparently it's really good for brain focus, which we might be dispelling that. So I love having water out of my Stanley Cup, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm here to chug it. I'm not doing the straw, first of all, wrinkles. Secondly, I'm not getting that much water, so I am chugging out of my Stanley Cup tube. So yeah. Anyway, I was thinking about like how people, for me at least, how I interpret everything, take like summer so seriously. Like everyone talks about all these plans. It seems like when it's not summer, everyone's planning for summer, and it's like, can you have downtime in summer? Because that's all I'm doing. I'm not gonna lie. My summer this year, I think this has been the most hermit year I've had. But like this summer, if you see me outside, you need to be grateful. You are the 1% of people that get to see me outside this summer. I am a little bit of an old man. I'm 27, not really that old, but I think this year especially, I'm like, if you leave me alone, that's perfect. Thank you very much. Like I'm not about being social this year. Literally, again, if you see me outside, just be grateful firstly for the experience. Secondly, that I'm outside. Like I can't be one of those people this summer. I don't know what's up with me this summer and this year. I have never been so much on a leave me alone agenda. Like I am just like, certain people I'll let in. Certain people, but otherwise, I'm not gonna lie, I have been so focused on my plants. I'm growing dates in the UK, in Yorkshire. I have been growing dates like no one's business. So I had, speaking of hyperfixations, I was eating dates like mad. And the thing is, you're only allowed to limit yourself to like 3 or 4 a day, which proved really hard for me. But I was eating them, and obviously a date has a seed in it, right? So then I was like, okay, let me grow this. I know I can do it. So I went on TikTok. There was this guy, and basically you get the date. Yeah, I'm chatting shit. This is crazy. But anyway, you get the date. You get tissue paper that's like wet. You wrap it in there, and then I put it in like a Ziploc bag, and then you need to put it somewhere that's like dark and warm. So I put mine eventually in my boiler room, and they were having a party in there, let's just say. And then I've planted them, which, I mean, to be fair, if there is a time of the year, you might as well do it in summer, because they are growing. They are growing so well. So there was one that I kind of experimented with at first, and that was doing really well. So then I was like, okay, let me put it in its own pot. And when I was gonna put it in its own pot, it's broke. It snapped. Some will say neglect. I say, I would say like just a true test of, moving out your environment. And it snapped, and I was like, damn. I mean, I was like, damn, and then I tried to make it come back together, and I was like, it's not gonna happen. So then I threw away like the leaf thing that grows on top of it, and then after that, I was like, okay, give it to it. It will grow back. And now it is. But the 2 others that I grew after, they are doing good. Well, one of them's doing good, and then one of them's not started yet. But I'm growing dates. That's crazy. So anyway, to my original point, I feel so strongly about this. I feel like everyone plans for summer, and then when summer comes around, it's just kind of a letdown, because you build it up so much, and then it happens, and then it's like, well, what now? Because this summer, for me at least, I have like had good times. I went on holiday for the first time. I watched up about this holiday because it was my first holiday out of the country since COVID, and it was like the best thing ever for me. Like just some kind of sunlight and a beach. I think that's what my ancestors were used to. And now I'm over here in the UK, I'm just like, it's not here, which I love it. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes when the sun hits, the sun hits. So I'm trying to like get out of this thing of like just planning for summer. I'm like, okay, I can do stuff all the time. I do love a winter, I will not lie. My birthday's in winter, but it's raining. So it is a bit of a funny one. It is a bit of a sticky one. But yeah, this is already proving to be such a hard task. What have I spoke about? The transatlantic accent, dates, and the sun. But I mean, two of them can be linked. I mean, but the transatlantic accent, let's talk about it. Why am I talking about that? I don't know. But here we are, here we are, here we are. Because the one thing that if you ever want to know anything about me, is I know everything about the weirdest shit ever. Like, literally the weirdest shit ever. Pull out a topic, I will know about it. Don't do it, but pull out a topic and I will know about it. And sometimes it really does suit me to know like really niche stuff, but sometimes it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, have you ever caught yourself in meeting someone for the first time and they will bring up something from this like niche topic, like just a headline, just a little bit, and you have to hold it back that you know everything about this thing? Like, are you kidding me? I was once at a networking event and someone mentioned that they were Persian. Talk about it for 2 minutes, and I was talking about, at the end I was like, oh, let's talk about garam sabji. Literally, shut up. But I was literally like, let's talk about this, but let's talk about this, salam. You know what I mean? And it's just like, shut up. But speaking about my hyperfixations, what is my hyperfixation at the moment? Well, that's interesting. I hear you say. No, I say. Well. I am planning my birthday. So it's currently July, and my birthday is in November. And I will say this, I have had such flop birthdays for the past 2 years. I mean, last year I did try, but I was just not there. I was just not in the right headspace. I look back at photos from my birthday this time last year, in November last year, and the way I'm like, is that person okay? And I was there, I was that person. Because honestly, it is crazy. And the year before, that was crazy too. The year before that was my 25th birthday. For that one, I did theme it based on one of my hyperfixations. So one of my hyperfixations around about my 25th birthday was, there was this one TikTok account and it was a girl and she would like clean graves. Now, I have a Scorpio moon, right? This is my justification for like being obsessed with this. And literally the school that I went to as a kid had a gravesite on it, which it was a whole thing. It had a church, it had everything. So I've always like somewhat been normalized to like dark stuff like that. But falling down the rabbit hole, I found it really interesting because there was like a whole collection of tombstones that she cleaned, which were for women who had a marriage, and on the wedding day they got like jolted at the altar, and the cause of death for them would be like they cried so much that they would die. And I just found it so fascinating because it wasn't like there was like one or two, it was a lot of people. Like a lot of the graves she would clean was like people who got like TB and the girls who would go through this. And I just found it so crazy that like a whole generation of women were put down to dying from this. Like, there's so much layers to that stuff. So anyway, that was my hyperfixation. And funerals are always really interesting to me because sometimes, the concept of death is really interesting to me, because it's based on how like people perceive it. Like after kind of someone passes away, it's really up to a culture to interpret it as they will. And for a lot of cultures that are more Western, it signifies like the end of a life, which that's kind of how it's looked at. And then for a lot of Eastern cultures, it signifies like a start of something new, like a start of a new journey for that soul or whatever. Like I know in India we wear white for a funeral, and in in the Western cultures they'll wear like black and stuff like that. So I found it really interesting, like the takes on kind of something like death and how it's like record keeping is kept around it, like how much people's prejudices play a part in like how they record stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, that was a tangent and a half. I've gone around the houses today. But anyway, the theme for my 25th birthday was a funeral. It was literally my funeral. Everyone came dressed in black. Basically, the whole point is it signified an end of this like messy me and then a start of something new. And I'm not gonna lie to you right here, right now, it was a crazy journey after that. I have literally had two of the maddest years of my life. And I will say this, recently, I paid for a natal chart reading from like a person I saw on TikTok who like really resonated with me. She was speaking a lot about Leo risings. I'm a Leo rising myself. And I was like, here you are, here's my money. And let's just say this, I paid for half an hour and ended up getting an hour. Because the first bit, this woman said to me, shout out Dale, you did your big one. She said to me, she was like, thank you so much for purchasing this because I've never seen a puzzle like this in my life. And I said to myself, I said, now this is crazy because I know it's a puzzle, but now you know it's a puzzle too. And she really got into it. Like she really got into my birth chart. And I was like, this is even more crazy because someone who literally lives on the other side of the world, she was in America. She was giving North Carolina, Tuscan vibes, as filmed on webcam vibes. And I'm over here in Yorkshire of the England. And it was crazy. It was mad. But anyway, say that to say, apparently I'm due an upswing, which we love. We love that. We love that. Anyway, I think something's happened to the camera, the lighting. I can't be bothered to sort it out. But I think that was actually crazy. That was the craziest experience of my life. Just because the whole birth chart reading of it all really psyched me out because I was like, what is going on here? Like, you know so much about me. And then also, low-key, all my placements are hitting. All my placements are hitting. Like, you cannot tell me anything. First of all, Sagittarius Sun, Leo Rising, Scorpio Moon, Capricorn Venus and Mars, and then an Aries midheaven and a Sagittarius Mercury. Don't know too much about the Sagittarius Mercury, but I recently got into my midheaven, so I'm just like out here living that Aries midheaven life. But you're telling me she knew so much about me. Anyway, she said that the day of my next birthday is like big moves for me. And I honestly, as a country, as a nation, as everything, we should be really excited for that. But my current hyperfixation is, you know what, it's not even, because I have been trying to make Marie Antoinette like really hit for me. It's not doing it. It's not doing it. It's not doing it. Because I have wanted to have a cake themed birthday for so long. So hear me out. So I thought we have a cake party where everyone comes dressed as their favorite cake. So if you like strawberry cake, you come pink. If you like chocolate cake, you come brown. And then I come as birthday cake. Love that for me. But that has been something I've been trying for like the last 2 years and it's not happened. So I've been like, oh, it's just not meant to happen. Let's leave it in the zeitgeist somewhere of a moment in time. Then, okay, 28, I'm turning 28. So I was like, 8, okay, cake maybe. We ate the cake. Cake, let them eat cake. Versailles, Marie Antoinette. So then I was thinking of doing like a one night in Versailles event, right? As a birthday party, so everyone comes kind of in that roca, whatever, I can't even say it, thing. And like, we have a good time. And then I was like, okay, I know that's not going to be enough for me. I know that's not going to be enough of a weird event. So now I'm going to have the whole thing. Everyone comes as a character. Everyone's given a character from the time. But then I saw something where they all turned on each other at the end. Like some of them stuck together, which is great. But then I saw a thing about like some of the guys like being their own ops. And I'm like, I don't want to be that. I don't want that for my friends. I don't want to give them like a character and they actually end up a couple of months down the line fighting each other because I give them the character. I just think like stuff like that is really like happens. So I don't want it to be a thing because I don't play around that energy anymore. After my funeral birthday, the way that version of me died, for me to find a somewhat new version is the craziest thing ever. And I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want any of it. So I say all that to say we don't know. The jury is still out on the next birthday party. But it also, I'm in July. The birthday party is at the end of November. So we have time. But yeah, no, that is crazy. I will say like things like that. I just think the energy that comes off that, I need to be careful. So yeah, I've learned the energy that you put out there is the energy that you get back. So I'm really trying to be careful about certain things like that, like my birthday themes. I take birthdays seriously. Like for me, a party is for real. Like I don't mess around. Like one thing I don't mess around with is like Halloween costumes. I think I've been like doing Halloween costumes for like 2015. I could literally catalog it like a Kardashian and I don't want to mess around with that either. I think for last year I was like a pirate. And then the year before that I was Men in Black. And then the year before that I was a rock star. And then the year before, this is actually crazy because that is all true. So how did the Men in Black played? Okay, got you. Because that also hits. So now I need to be really, really careful. Like I was going to say, the word and colour of the year exercise that I do is even crazier. Because that's when I set the intention. I set a word and a colour for that year. It's become a pyramid scheme. I have like 20 people that do it alongside me. I have already, it takes no work from me because it literally takes half an hour for me to plan it. I send quarterly check-ins with everyone. I record them on Notion. It is literally a pyramid scheme because that happens. That happens like crazy. So the beginning of it when I started to actually track mine was 2022. And yeah, that was the craziness because that I set my color as like champagne gold and my word as growth. And I think that 2022, the funeral, birthday, all those things, we really started to like somewhat adult, like get into that mindset. And then as my 2023, I had it as like change and like electric green, I called it. And I did change a lot. I like moved jobs, locations, and I like lost a bunch of weight. And then 2024, that was control and that was black. And I'm never choosing a somber color ever again in my life. Like that one was like just learning about taking control of my own life. So that was great. And then this year has been like an orange and then it's been persistence. And I have actually learned the cost of true persistence because like this has been the first year I've been like medicated for my ADHD. And I was actually thinking about it today because I was like, listen, I don't think this is working because like it was a lot. Like I was just like, I felt very placid, but now I'm like figuring out that no, you are actually realizing stuff. You are Kylie Jenner 2016 realizing stuff, and that's a lot. So you're learning like realizing all these things about your life and then having to like still go with it. Do you know what I mean? Like I like a lot of the things that previously like brought me some level of like dopamine or fake enjoyment do not do it for me anymore. So now I'm like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's crazy. Like I used to rely on so many things, like just things to get me through the day. Like even food. I enjoy food, don't get me wrong, but I don't enjoy the action of like eating as much as I did. So now, I mean, what do you do after that? And like even like just habits and like stuff. Like I used to love, like TV shows. I don't even do that. I used to love like listening to an audiobook, feeling really immersed in something whilst I'm doing something, and like multitasking. I don't even do that anymore. I just want to do one thing at a time. So that has been real. That has been real. But speaking about that, I will say a couple of things that I am really enjoying at the moment is films and like TV shows. But TV shows, I'm not really enjoying like those traditional TV shows that I used to. I'm not gonna lie, watching two TV shows, and one of them's like kind of not really. So like at the moment, I'm into Love Island. I don't know what it is. It's very low commitment for me. Like I just watch one episode one day and that's it. Like that's just like once every day, one episode is like a level of commitment, but only half an hour of my day. So I'm just like, okay. And films, I'm watching films like crazy. Like I've got a letterboxd account now, which is mad. I'm watching like I don't know, it feels like I'm watching like deeper films. So like one film that I watched recently is Fight Club, which that it's crazy that that never got like any kind of like critical acclaim at the time, but then also it's a very like anti establishment movie. That plot twist is crazy. Like that is actually like very smart. I listened to a podcast after I watched that, and apparently there's not another film, but like he wrote a comic book about it, and it's just like really not it. But Fight Club was good. I watched The Pursuit of Happiness, that was good. Anora I watched, that was good. So yeah, I'm watching films and stuff. But yeah, that's it. It's crazy. I think maybe it's like half of it is getting older. Apparently I'm going through my Saturn return. My Saturn return, oh my god. Apparently it's got two halves. I didn't know this. Mine does at least. Mine started in December of 2023, which is nuts. And then it finishes like this summer. It just finished apparently in like May. And that that era of me has been perhaps the most realist era, in the way that like the way they put it was like that was the burn and then this is the build coming on. But that was the pits. But anyway, yeah, I don't really have that many hyperfixations at the moment. Um, if I'm to be real, I mean, this was my first episode, so maybe this is like the therapy couch is what I'm calling it. Yeah, let me know. Honestly, I would love nothing more than to have a theme and then also have like dilemmas. But that would be fun, wouldn't it? So anyway, guys, I'm really sorry for this lighting change. Hopefully it's not too harsh. But let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you loved hearing my Yorkshire accent and not my transatlantic accent. And I will see you guys on the other side. As always, please do like, comment, and subscribe. But for now,